Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zet. Today I'm going to be talking about Workhorse Group Incorporation. So this is my second DD on this one. You'll find my previous one in the description below if you'd like to watch it after this one. I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, and what I think about the stock. And at any point, if you feel you're missing on the technical analysis, you'll find technical indicators description in the description below on a playlist that you can watch. Let's jump right into it. So on a 1 week perspective, what we get to see here is that the stock still looks very bullish on the moving averages. 10 SMA is above the 30 SMA, that's green line, above the red line, above the 50 SMA, the purple line, and above the 200 SMA. In case it does dip between the trading action zone, that is between 1929 and 1256, it is more likely to see a positive reversal. Amazing news there. William Percent R puts this one at oversold, which really just shows in that there is a potential for it to as well jump back. Momentum here looks like it's actually broken down quite a bit, going in from where it was around 20.28 all the way down to single digits. If we were to look into the MACD, what we get to see here is a little bit of a decrease on the MACD, but we have seen that before. Although this major red candle is a little bit of an indication of perhaps that it's going to be trading sideways, as we get to see here the last time it happened. Now, unbalanced volume doesn't show very much of a bearish move. It doesn't show that the entire flow of volume was just sellout. It was more about in and out, so that is quite significant there. On a 1 month, 1 day perspective, what we get to see on the MACD, as it was quite bullish for quite a bit, except that we see on the 23rd a massive red day for the stock, and it actually looks like it's going on towards a negative reversal. Now, in the previous ADX on the 1 week perspective, it did show that the trend is very unstable and it looks like it might actually go negative. On the 1 day perspective, it shows in that it's actually retracting from that trend, going on towards a negative trend on the ADX on the 1 month, 1 day perspective. If we were to look onto MACD, it looks like it turned bearish on the 23rd, where it's seen a negative reversal. Unbalanced, look like it's dipping. In the volume, where you had higher volume 1 day, lower volume the second, that is usually a bit bearish. But William Percent R looks like it was oversold on the 22nd and just continued to be oversold as of now. It actually is heading a little bit towards neutral, which is odd since it didn't recover that much. Momentum seems to be lost. We're looking at a very much off of 0.75 momentum compared to 11.09, which is a very, very strong momentum that it had. On the moving averages, here it looks like we're having a little bit of bad news. So 10 SMA above 30 SMA bullish. It's above 50 SMA and above the 200 SMA, all bullish and good, except that the stock is barely sitting in the trading action zone. It slipped a little bit behind, but it looks like it's having trouble there. Trading action zones is where reversals are likely, so if it does dip below there, we might be a bit in trouble. If we look into the 1 hour perspective, and this is solely just to get to 1 hour perspective, we get to see a really bearish move here on a Death Star forming in the extended hours, so that's a little bit dangerous. It signifies that there is a drop incoming on the 1 hour perspective, but I'm saying this is just 1 hour, so this could be more of a 3 hour, 4 hour block, but it looks like the last time we had a golden star would probably be all the way back in September of early on September. So it's been a month, and right now it's a Death Star. Moving averages and almost everything here looks quite bearish onto the 1 hour perspective, except the William Percent R, it looks around neutral. Let's take a quick look into the moving average, and just to emphasize again, we're talking about 1 hour. I would give emphasis on the 1 week and the 1 day perspective rather than the 1 hour. On the moving averages over here, we get to see the band is expected to trade between 2062 in the middle, the bottom, 2275 in the middle, and 25 under the top. Now, if we were to look into charts, the current trend line hasn't been broken yet. There is a massive gap between the current trend line and where the price is. And we would probably be seeing it somewhere around $14 on the bottom of the trend line. If we were to draw another trend line all the way towards here, that is possible, although it only is really 2 points rather than the around 10 points on the bottom trend line. We can see the current trend line that it has a little bit of lower strength is around 1974. Now, if we were to talk about Fibonacci retracements, we get to see a strong support on the Fibonacci retracements at the 1964, above that 2462 for the Fibonacci resistance. If we were to look at significant supports and resistances for the current time being, we get to see there is a really strong support sitting at the 2021 range. Below that, we're looking 1974. Below that, we're looking at 1918. and then 1854. And then the one I'm concerned about is the 1755 to the 1721. Now, if all hell breaks loose and we don't get the USPS deal that is rumored to have a deadline on October 12th, you'll have around 1485 as the bottom over there. And then just very ultimate support would be 1395 to 1330. If it does break there might actually see quite strong lows there. So still we're talking about 50% decrease. So that is quite interesting. If we were to look into institutional values and institutional buyers, you get to see there is quite a few. There's not much sales. I haven't seen a sale all the way back to August, 17th of August. So we're seeing a lot of additional shares being added on here. Majority of them are index funds or just market funds. So it doesn't have much significance, but it still shows that this one is on the radar for a lot of stocks. Now, if we were to look into what happened recently, Hugues Dwayne actually sold a bit of shares here around 50,000 at 25.78, and a bunch of them did sell around mid-September. Nothing very significant. They've been selling for quite a bit. I mean, all the way back into where it was 16 and 15. If we were to look into the current 8K filing, there has been a bit of elections and proposals for things for being voted on. Nothing significant that basically rises out of the blue, other than perhaps increasing of shares to be sent, but that's a normal. Latest news. Taking a quick look at the Workhorse Group stock forecast for 2021. There has been a bit different articles on it. I'm not going to go through the exact articles on it, but I would go through the Workhorse C Series all-elective delivery truck achieves premium range for last mile delivery. This was actually posted up on Yahoo News. So it's from a trusted source, and you get to see a bit, the Workhorse 2020 model year C1000 extended range achieve maximum of approximately 160 miles per charge under urban situations, which is a pretty good style to be in, especially for the USPS. So the USPS are actually bursting into flames, and that's been a lot of things where it's put into the news, not once or twice. It's actually been there for quite a bit. But we get to see that they are actually aging, and there is a lot of pressure into towards politicians to put in some funding for USPS. Now, if we were looking into different things, there's a bunch of different articles that say basically, oh well, it's overvalued, or there's catalysts coming and all that stuff. I am not going to go through those ones, but you can read them on your free time. Now, in my own view, this one here is not really the next kind of truck or next Tesla, but rather has its own benefit. And from my opinion, it has the benefit of going towards companies like Amazon, USPS, UPS. They do have already contracts along the way if you watch my previous video, so there is strong potential for this one. Now, a lot of the things, the big problem with this one is that there's a lot of politician and politics going on towards it. A lot of politicians kind of going around cutting the USPS fundings and mail-in funding, so that might actually not see for contracts, or contracts might be delayed post-elections for different reasons. But the biggest interest for this one is it has a future. It's not the Tesla for trucks per se, but it has a really nice revolution towards a very small niche market, yet very in terms of market cap, that market is massive. So on a long term, I see it to be kind of an amazing run. Now, if we were to look into the 1 week perspective, as I did say, it looks a little bit shaky and might actually see a negative reversal. On the 1 day, it did see a negative reversal, so it's a little bit of a scary investment, but on the long run, I do see this one perhaps in 2025 to be higher than it is now. But what do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.